No, and I got these newspaper clippings about Grandpa
He'd brag
with
about
his car
him.
accident in the Winooski River,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I remember that.
he went to,
Not the Winooski.
Well, that one right down here by Whitcomb's.
Yeah.
What river
That
is
ain't
that?
the Winooski.
No.
but it was upside down, wasn't
His
it?
car was upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Whitcomb came out and they got him out. Apparently Dad got out himself.
I think so.
Somebody on the Whitcomb farm went over and took the car out.
That's when he was working in Winooski at the
The
mill,
mills, yeah.
woolen mill.
So
Winooski.
what did he do in the woolen mill?
Oh, I don't know just what he did. Everybody worked in the woolen mills at some time back then.
You know what?
Because that's all there was.
I can't remember him, but Sharon can remember him.
Oh.
There's only like a month's difference between Sharon and I, but Sharon can remember him, and I try to remember him, but I can't.
Now, I don't know whether Philip does or not.
Was Philip born in 55?
He was born in 54.
Yeah, see, I was born in 55.
But we used to go up there every weekend.
Shit, yes, we was with him all the time.
Mom and
everywhere.
Dad sought the world to Philip.
That's what
Yeah.
Mom and Dad always said, that he used to hold us kids, that
Yeah.
us babies,
Yeah.
that he was always holding us.
No, I had a car. George and Rena didn't have a car. And we went all over hell in that
Yeah.
car that was mine. And we always had to take George either to Waterbury or Hardwick to get a pint. And if he could get out away from Rena, and me away from her, we'd go. He'd want to go to Hardwick or Waterbury and we'd get a pint. And then
So Lois, what year were you born?
33,
33, yeah.
And you were born right at the house.
Yep.
You didn't,
as far as I know.
so what was it like going to the elementary school over there in Johnson?
Johnson?
Yeah,
Oh,
did pretty
it was
well.
good. First 2 grades, I was a hellion, I guess. Used to get my mouth washed out quite a bit for
That sounds like fun.
telling all those words I heard at home to the other kids.
I'm sure George had a few that you learned from him.
Hi,
Yeah,
Philip's your son.
52.
52.
We were married in 53.
Yeah.
So I was only 3 years old when you guys got together.
Did you meet at school or?
Oh no, he'd been in the service in the Navy.
Come back home, raised in hell, lived up Eden with my dad and mother for a while. Chased around with her brother Kurt.
Kurt.
You must remember Kurt.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
And we ran around with Kurt and Pat.
yeah.
Oh, and
I just happened to be in the family when Kurt was still living at home then. When I had a car or he had a car, we were always together, so kind of met her that way at home.
So it wasn't too long after that you guys ended up getting married, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of years we went together, I think.
yeah,
So, who was the disciplinarian in the family? Was it Grandma or Grandpa?
Grandma.
I kind of
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that.
Grandpa never did anything.
He'd swear and cuss and
Yeah.
raise hell because somebody did something, but he'd never do anything about it. But you don't want to cross Rena too much.
My mother always, growing up, of course, Mom and Rena, they didn't fight, but they had their little things.
Oh, I'm sure.
But Mom never ever said one negative thing about Grandpa Bradley. It was always how wonderful he was,
Yeah.
and what
Everybody
a
liked George
kind,
Bradley. Everybody.
loving man he was.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I kind of gathered that maybe Grandma was the one that laid down the law to the kids. That
Yeah, he always had one of them green quart bottles of Ballantine in the refrigerator. And he'd reach in that and pour it out in the
Drink
glass.
one of those for breakfast.
Oh,
I can remember going and getting him quite a few of those out of,
he'd send me to get it out of the
Oh,
refrigerator.
and he'd buy it by the case. They'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, they come 12 to a case. I know when I bought the house and cleaned it out, there was more of those quart beer bottles under that house than it practically filled up the whole bottom there.
Well, when they put the new bathroom in 1949 upstairs, they took some of the stair
Well,
caps off.
Just a stool. There wasn't no
We
lavatory
had
or
a tub and a
bathtub.
lavatory.
It did eventually. We had
Yeah.
a bathtub up there, and
Yeah,
Not when George was there.
yeah.
It was down cellar,
We used to
wasn't
go
it?
down cellar to the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right.
In 49, they put in a bathroom upstairs, and they took the caps off the stairs. They found some bottles of whiskey that had, there was about that much in them, and they hadn't even broke the cap off of them. So from him bringing that home from Canada in the 1930s, I guess he hid it in the stairway.
that was another story I wanted to
Oh,
ask you
right.
about.
Red Hooper and George hid their liquor from Canada.
Did Grandpa take a rap for Red and go
That's
to
what
prison?
everybody always said, but
Well, not just Red. I think there was some others involved.
yeah, oh yeah.
I think the Barrowses and the Stackpoles and all the upper echelon of Johnson, I think, because I think Ma was well taken care of while he was in prison. I think he was in prison for what, 3 months?
Not too long.
Bootlegging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that, in the 50s or was that in the 40s?
Oh no, that was
No.
shit,
No,
long
that
time.
was way back
the
in the
30s.
30s.
Oh, in the 30s?
During the Prohibition era.
Prohibition.
During Prohibition,
Yeah.
29 to 33.
Yeah.
We did an interview with Everett Demerit that was a friend of Dad's. He lives up in Wolcott or Craftsbury, and he said that the deer jacking that he remembers Dad talking about, it started because there was a job offered, and Grandpa had the dump truck, and they wouldn't give him the work because it wasn't registered, and it was kind of retaliation. And I said no, from what I understand is that Dad and Red were such good friends because it was kind of a payback thing for something that had happened, but we never heard the story. And then somebody said it was whiskey. It was running whiskey,
Yeah.
and he took the rap for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was said.
And that's why Red,
Never did much about
No.
our illegal deer.
no, well, because he knew they were feeding their families with it, but it was, and even Jimmy loved Red. I mean, they worked up in
Oh,
his
yeah.
sugar house, and so
Yeah,
there was always a connection
Grew
there.
up with the Red's kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even Babe came to the house when Mom and Dad were ill. She
Yeah.
was always there. And
That's another thing George Brother did. He used to boil sap for a Red Hooper
yep,
up on
French
French
Hill.
Hill there,
French Hill.
up there somewhere. He had a big sugar place.
I
we've
got
got
it.
a picture.
I got a
of him.
picture of that
There.
where
Yeah.
he's.
We have
Pillow
too.
picture.
Yeah.
Yep, Patty did it for you. Yep,
Yeah.
Did Patty do all those pictures?
I think she did.
Yeah.
She and I were both doing them for a while, but I think she made those
Yeah.
and gave them to people.
Went to Hyattsville, Maryland. Mom, Dad, Paul, Guy, and I. We had that little 51 Ford.
We didn't go to Maryland. We went to Long Island, New York. Went right into New York City.
That's right. We went to Long Island, and Uncle Les
Les Pearsall.
Pearsall was was Dad's sister's husband.
Yeah.
He was the chief of police on Long Island. He took us across on the ferry over to,
Where'd we go? New Jersey or somewhere.
they lived in Hyattsville, Maryland, and we met Aunt Cora and Uncle Henry. And Aunt Cora was Dad's sister. And we had a real good time down there. Uncle Les took us in his police car all over Long Island and took us
All
into
over his
the
jurisdiction.
took us into the black section. And we noticed that they lived in friggin' shacks, but they had Cadillacs in the driveway. That's what we noticed the most. But that was right after we were married.
Yeah. You were pregnant when we were there.
Yeah. For Philip. Yeah.
So 63 years ago, 62 years ago.
65 years ago.
See,
Yeah, we all got into that goddamn little 51 Ford coupe. George and Paul and
Ma.
Ma was in the front seat
Yeah.
on the opposite side of the driver's. You couldn't get her out of that seat. I was the driver because of my car.
Grandma, what I can remember her.
I must have sat
You,
in the
you
back,
sat in the middle or something,
in the back seat.
maybe. Anyway, we had quite a carload for that little car. We drove all over hell in it around there.
Did George and you guys take a number of trips, or is that pretty much the first and
Well, mostly we'd just go around, fishing or camping or something like that. We didn't ever take real long trips.
No.
George liked to fish and hunt? I know that.
Oh yeah.
But I know he worked hard too.
No, he loved, he was always wishing one of them boys, Wayne or Keith or somebody, would take him out to Lake Champlain. He always wanted to go over to the lake and go fishing. He apparently had been at some time. Of course, Wayne used to go out there quite a bit.
Dad too.
Plasky.
Uh,
They went over to Plasky.
To New York.
Salmon fishing.
Yep, Dad and Mom used to go
yeah,
over there and do
not
that
Plattsburgh.
Not Plattsburgh, Platsky.
too. The Pulaski River, isn't it?
Pulaski River.
Yeah, way off over in Ontario, off over to,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, Wayne used to go out that way. But that was salmon fishing.
Yeah, they used to bring them home just cut in half, and Wayne used to put them in his freezer.
Yep.
I remember Annie used to make an awful good dip out of those.
George always wanted to go back to, not Lake Carmine, what do they call it?
Franklin Pond.
Franklin Pond, and go pike fishing.
Yeah, we used to rent a camp over there.
Now, do you remember the Barrows store?
Next door
Oh
to
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to go over there.
What
and
was
get
that
it.
like? That was on the corner of Pearl Street and
Yeah. Wilbur Barrows. And we used to go over there. They were awful good to us kids. We'd go in there and get our candy, penny candy, and if we needed a quart of milk or. Well, and we didn't have any real big stores in the town either, just the IGA.
You probably didn't buy many groceries at the store. You probably grew your own food.
Well, Dad
Pretty
had
much.
had an awful big garden.
Yep.
So.
now the next building down from there was I guess at one time was an undertaker's building. Didn't they have an undertaker's place in there?
Yeah.
The KP Hall.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right there behind Mike's trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then they had the Grange, which was
Yeah.
popular. And how much land did Gramp own down through there towards where the co-op and the places were on School Street?
Oh, at one time, I think he owned the whole friggin' street.
All the way down through.
Because I think he had the lots where Harvey built and where Wayne built.
And he had the
And
one
I
where
don't
the...
know, but he sold something to the co-op.
Yeah, I think he did. I heard that he sold
Yeah.
a chunk of land so the co-op could build there.
And he owned that whole backyard clear over to the next house there.
Lambert,
Miller's.
Miller's, yeah.
There's Miller's, and then there was Stewart's,
Stewart's.
and then Messier's, and then
Well,
Wayne.
at that time it was Despo. Pitt Despo and V Despo. You remember them?
No,
Yeah, I do.
I remember hearing
must
their names
remember
though.
I know Pitt. Pitt moved to Hyde Park in his last end of the years. And I used to stop in and pick his brain about what
Yeah.
he did. And
yeah.
I know he hung out with the Bradleys a lot.
He came over one morning.
Oh, yeah.
This is something I heard. I don't know. It's true. He always came over and picked up Margie to go to school. They walked out through the backyard out over to School Street, and he was looking in the reservoir on the wood stove. He lifted it up and he says, "Rena, I spit in your kissel boiler." She said, "You did not, you little shit." I guess he had. He'd spit in the, That's where we got our hot water from, because we didn't have a hot water heater. We had to dip it with a dipper and take it over to the sink. And Rena, I spit in your kizza boiler.
Now, which Despos lived up where the college was? Because I know they used to watch me when I was
that
little.
was, well, they were related. They were cousins to Pitt.
Yeah. I used to call her Ma Despo, but
What were those Despos names? I used to babysit for
they had a farm up there.
Oh, all of us girls used to babysit for the kids up there, and the Harringtons? No.
I didn't know there was any more Despos, only those little V Despo.
No, there was some
family.
clear, there was another big farm up in there that was V's brother, and then there was another one right there on Clay Hill that we used to babysit for. There was Cecile, and there was 2-3 Despo girls
That wasn't Despo, was it?
that were cousins to Pitt. Trying to think of that Despo's name.
No.
Margie would know. She used to babysit quite a bit up there.
Did you spend a lot of time up on the Emery farm? Did you go up there much?
Not much. Beatty spent more time up there with Ethel.
And Harvey. Harvey,
Yeah.
I did an interview on it's on his
He
Facebook
didn't
page.
like that pickle pie.
He said he ended up there during the flood.
Yeah.
He got sent up to the farm. So he can remember that.
Now, when the flood happened, I hear tell that Gramp actually saved a lot of the Woolen Mills wool by trucking it to Morrisville, and they put it into kilns up there.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know that.
Of course, that was,
Yeah.
you weren't born then.
All
I
I
don't think.
heard was that the water got clear up to the bedroom windows on the upstairs, and old Red Hooper and some of them came around with a boat and wanted Mom and Dad and the kids that were there take them out, and they said no, if something happens to the house we'll go with it. They wouldn't go. And Ma said that they would sweep the dirt out as the water went down. They'd brush it down till it got to the bottom floor.
Pretty good solid old house on it, Mike.
I guess it was.
That's where all
Yeah.
my good memories are in that house.
You know, anytime you wanted to do any work in that house, though, it had that old horsehair plaster in it.
Oh,
And he had boarding, and for insulation, all they had was newspaper stuck in between the
The
walls.
laugh.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the laugh
there was
and
no
the plaster.
regular insulation. Then it was all full of that knob and tubing wiring they had to take out
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in order to keep things running. You had to stick a penny behind the fuse to keep them from blowing.
Yeah. I remember
And the attic was
always
like
had a ladder
just a
up to
hole.
the attic.
Yeah.
Had to go up through that hole in it.
Any of you kids ever fall off there? And there was no railing on there when we moved in.
Oh,
that's the first thing I can remember as a kid is like living in that house
stay
and there
next
was
to the
no
wall.
railing.
Stay next to the wall.
And that heater from the furnace heater was right there under that stairway. From the stairway, you could look right in down.
Still there.
Yeah.
I think it's still there.
That's what
We used
they
to come
call
downstairs in the morning and
central heating, ain't it?
Sam Daniel's furnace in the basement.
Yeah.
From what I hear, the school kids used to stop in there every morning and feel like a halfway stop just to
Yeah.
stand on that
Yeah.
register because
Oh,
they
they
were
did.
Get
cold.
warm.
You warm up, yeah.
No, that's the same thing as in my dad's house up in Eden. Same setup. The house was a little different, but same setup as far as that furnace. There's a register right there, and the stairway went right up beside it. Yeah.
Well, see, Wayne and Harvey's house and our house, they're all the same floor plan.
Yeah.
Like the stair, everything isn't. I mean, the rooms may be a little different, but it's the same plan.
Yeah.
How many cows was Phil milking up there at the farm?
Whose farm?
Your farm.
Up to your dad's
Now
farm.
Eden.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's farming it.
No,
But
but
when
when
you
your
were a
dad
kid.
was doing
when your
it,
dad-
Oh, I know.
I think the barn was across the road. I
Yeah.
think in the
yeah,
field.
that fell in.
They were, I mean, maybe 40 milking cows.
You had that many then.
Yeah.
That was quite a lot for back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started to tip over, the barn did, because it was so sort of set on a side hill. They just leveled it off and put stone wall under it, foundation, and built the barn up. A big old hip roof barn. All of a sudden, the goddamn thing started going. Cows and everything, they were all in there. He noticed it and everything. So Howard Minosh, or somebody that worked for him, or somehow they noticed it and said they thought they could bring that barn back and get it back level. So they put what they call dead anchors or something in the ground beside the road and cabled it back and got it back up straight and square again.
I know it was a nice barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, I don't think they could leave the anchors and the cable there. They could get it straightened up, but they had to do their own as far as keeping the barn upright. So they had to take the cables off and the anchors out of the road, because that was highway, state highway. Barn was pretty near in the highway. And finally it did, it went over by itself again. There weren't no cows in it then. Or he'd taken them out because it was going.
I could still picture him waddling around up there with his cane, moving around. He had an old little milk house, I think, across the road by
Yeah.
the house that he used to always work in all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember your mother. She was a frail little thing, and she'd go to Barb and
Yeah.
Mickey's, and Barb would take her to the doctors or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And
Yeah, did she stay with them? Did she live with them?
No, I don't think so. She lived with Emma after your father died.
Yeah, that was right next to
Now,
their house.
Emma, is she the one married to George
yeah,
Damaris?
yeah.
They were married.
I don't think they were married.
But George died, so.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emma got in an accident with a three-wheeler, we
and
heard.
Kathy,
Yeah.
A bicycle.
they were riding bikes.
Oh, they were bicycles. I thought they were four-wheelers or three-wheelers.
No,
No.
June told us it was bicycles. They went for a bike ride.